I'm Rushi Budhrani. On our 60th year of independence, I want to find out what makes all of us identify as Singaporean today. In the previous episode, we revealed the results of a nationwide survey that CNA worked on with the Institute of Policy Studies.
Close to 30% of these respondents feel like the national identity has become weaker.
Happiness, prosperity, progress, that's our promise, right? Perhaps this 30% is saying that maybe we're not fulfilling the promise.
In the same survey, we asked what conflicts with our national identity. Socioeconomic status ranked number 4.
What SES does is to give people different experiences. So that's when identity starts to diverge.
Race came in as the third biggest issue.
I don't want to be identified by my race actually, but as I move through in life, I realized that Singaporeans like to segregate ourselves into race.
In this episode, I'll be revealing what else beyond race and socioeconomic status conflicts with our national identity. And what exactly does it take to make all of us feel Singaporean? While race ranked third when it comes to what conflicts with national identity, ranked higher is not serving national service. 34.7% said that not serving national service conflicts with national identity, compared to 32.3% who chose race and 32.2% who chose socioeconomic status. Sean Seah made the military his career. Today, he's an officer with the Singapore Navy. His desire to sign on came from years of studying Singapore's history.
Whoa! Very good, Sean.
I thought you were joining as well.
Me? No. I would have loved to join you, bro, but I have this thing. I got a letter from MINDEF, man, saying that I've completed my national service.
In 2021, Sean wrote this article about the role of national service in the early years of nation building. There was a very powerful demonstration. I loved it, but can you explain what that physical prowess has to do with our discussion about the Singapore national identity?
I think what I was trying to show was the Rugged Society campaign. And that was the campaign, of course, that was put out first in the 60s and 70s by our first generation of post-independence government. In 1965, I think 50% of the population was under 19. What was very crucial and critical for a young country and a young government was to have that young generation be united and united through activities that would have taken place in rugged conditions. There was the introduction of the uniform groups. The National Day Parade, it was a lot of hours under the hot sun, sometimes through the rain. And finally, when you do leave school, there is national service for the defense of our country.
Do you think it was necessary for the government to kind of step in and form what that Singapore identity would look like?
The founding generation of leaders in Singapore felt it was important, imperative almost, to create and forge that national identity. What this Rugged Society campaign provided was that element of direction and shared purpose. So picture yourself as a young person in the 60s. Right? In the past 6 years, you've sung 3 national anthems, God Save the Queen, Negaraku, and then now Majulah Singapura. What does the nation mean to you? Singapore was a city you grew up in, no doubt aspire to things, but may not feel that sense of belonging, may not have been the nation that you identified with. I think the crux of the Rugged Society campaign was the idea that as a society, you had to be united, to be a composite whole, through the trials and storms that befall any nation in the course of its history.
In 1967, national service was made compulsory for every male citizen in Singapore. The reason was clear. Singapore is a small state that had to be able to defend itself. and national service was one of the most visible expressions of the Rugged Society campaign. So, many years ago, I completed my full-time national service with the Singapore Armed Forces. Now, after you complete your full-time national service, you become operationally ready national servicemen, or what some of us call reservists. And when you go back for reservist duty, you're required to take a fitness test called the Individual Physical Proficiency Test, also known as the IPPT. Okay, look, I haven't done an IPPT in like 20 years, but today I'm going to do it for the first time in 20 years, not because the government wants me to do, but because my producer wants me to do it. Luckily, I won't be doing this alone. Aziz reminds me of my army sergeant, which kind of makes sense since he's had a 16-year military career. Lucas has finished his reservist duties, but he brought those experiences on stage through his first full-length play. Titled Frago, it's about a group of Singaporean men in their 7th year of reservist training. Joshua is the only one here who will still be called up for reservist duty. He's also part of the main cast of one of Singapore's most iconic military movie series, Our Boys to Men.
Come on, come on. Finally.
Well, we didn't do too badly. Aziz and Joshua got gold, while Lucas and I managed silver.
Thanks for indulging us in this IPPT, but I actually have some more pressing questions about NS that I want to ask all of you.
Having completed national service about 2 weeks ago, I would say it plays an important part. You're giving your life for 2 years. I feel that serving the country, it is a must.
I want to bring your attention to a survey we did. I'll show you this list right now, okay? I'm going to share with you now the second factor that conflicts most with national identity was not serving NS. What is it about the national service experience that makes it such a big part of being Singaporean?
Serving national service form some form of a foundation to being Singaporean. Because where else can you get someone of different socio-economic status, different race, language, religion, and then you pull them into one pool, BMT, and then you trauma bond for 3 months.
It levels the ground so much. Even if you're a politician's son, it doesn't matter, you're going to get tekan the same. You're going to get whacked the same. And the kind of like shared suffering I had with my fellow mates. The route march 24 clicks, with everything on, our helmet, full load, our weapon is suffering. We want to give up, but we can't. Because it's something that we have to do.
It cuts across generations as well. Sometimes you sit down with some uncle and then he shares with you his army experience. Oh, last time, must queue up and call on the payphone, you know, and you bond over that.
My gosh, I had to call my cousin to let him know that I'm dating his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, it was actually
Is this for real?
difficult call to make.
When you share that story, even though obviously I didn't know you back then, right?
Sure.
But I can see it because we know the same tekong.
Those 2 years are really formative and integral to the Singaporean male experience. But for the next 10 years, Singaporean men have to go back and serve. So I actually served with the same unit for 10 years for my reservists.
Okay.
When you serve with the same group of men through those 10 years, we did these difficult things together, and then you start to really see each other as fellow human beings, fellow Singaporeans. And you just start to connect from there.
We actually broke down some of the information. Approximately 40% of the males said that not serving NS conflicts with national identity. But among the females, it was close to about 30%. Are you surprised by this stat that even the females feel that this is an important part of Singaporean-ness?
I think the women in our lives, they actually see what the men in their lives are like after having gone through national service, or the way that some of the men in their lives talk about having served, defending our nation, defending the land, feeling connected with each other, resonates with them on some level.
When I was younger, right, my cousins, they had to serve NS. The whole family chipped in when he comes home. They wash his uniform. They help iron the uniform. My grandmother would help to starch the uniform until it can stand, you know.
I'll go as far as to say, right? You know, you spend 2 years in national service. You learn this lingo. Have you ever gone to an office and then like someone suggests something in the meeting? Sir, I thought who confirmed? There's the language, some of the culture that they bring into the civilian world that you can't ignore. Let me show another statistic to you. This has to do with 3 different groups of people who responded to the question. We had local-born Singaporeans, PRs, and naturalized citizens. Among the groups, local-born Singaporeans feel most strongly that not serving the nation conflicts with national identity. Why do you feel that is so?
It's because I think local-born citizens will feel like they never had a choice in whether they could or couldn't do NS. Ours is a solid 2 years of your life. At the age of 18, you're ready to begin your life. Right? No, come back and put on camo. So I think that kind of sacrifice, I think it's taking a chunk of time out of your life. That's what some Singaporean men feel like, this is why I am more Singaporean than you who haven't done it.
What's your take on this, Josh? Because you are probably unique from us in that you had a choice in a way. As a permanent resident, made the choice to complete your full-time national service.
Okay, I have to caveat my experience because I only served NS because I knew that I wanted to stay and work in Singapore. The fact of the matter is, to stay here, you gotta sacrifice in one way or another. Growing up, I've always had some sort of identity crisis. Not quite Singaporean, but not quite Aussie, who am I? But serving national service was a very key part in finding myself. I started with a lot of unwillingness because I would think to myself, hang on, this isn't even my country. You know, why am I putting 2 years of my life into this country?
So to tie it back to the survey, if you didn't do NS, would you feel less of a Singaporean?
100%, 1,000,000%. I know I'm not Singaporean. My passport says so, it's obvious, right? But having gone through national service, I'd say I'm more Singaporean than I am Aussie. National service is a key part of Singapore's identity, I feel.
Josh, you know, that's so interesting you bring the point up about connection, because it's almost as though it gives you a stronger connection to the land when you are working to defend the land. And that's again something that maybe you cannot explain to someone who's not been through the process, maybe.
Exactly right.
For me, when I started off, NS gave me a sense of direction, gave me a sense of purpose.
Because when you're 18, come out from Poly JC, you're like, fun. Then suddenly now, oh, rifle, I have to handle it, I cannot anyhow point. Or I lose one live round, oh. You really care about things, and I think there's no other institution in Singapore that fosters that.
All male Singaporeans and permanent residents are required to serve national service, but males who obtain citizenship as mature adults are not enlisted. Even though not serving national service is a sticking point, the number one thing people say conflicts with national identity: country of birth. 37.1% of the 2,000 respondents feel that this conflicts with national identity.
To be born in Singapore is part of it. Then to grow up in Singapore, that's what it means to be a Singaporean.
I think we should open our arms and welcome them. They come with their talents, their abilities, and their family
I would say the kind of culture they bring in, the kind of mindset, mentality, it will affect our identity because we will get mixed up with other identities, yes.
Hey, Bob. How are you going? All okay?
Fine, fine. Just opening the shop.
This is my dad at 10 years old. His parents were originally from Sindh, a region that became a part of Pakistan in 1947. As Hindu minorities in Muslim-majority Pakistan, the Sindhis were forced out of their homeland, and my grandparents met as refugees in India. But they were still in search of a place to lay down their roots, so they left for Singapore with my father in tow. Today, my dad runs this tailor shop in Chinatown.
This is a sweet dish.
This is a Sai Mithai, right?
Thai mithai, yes.
From Sindhi dessert.
This is sana pakora.
Oh, wow. Pakora. And this is a super traditional Sindhi dish called dal pakwan. I mean, our family, if we trace back, were refugees.
Yeah.
They escaped a war-torn piece of land
And
moved to India,
whichever country they.
and then from India they came here to Singapore. And you came to Singapore as a kid.
Yeah, when 7 years old.
You came in '64. That was the year of the racial riots, though.
Yeah, but I was still little, so I wasn't exposed to that. Maybe in the 80s, maybe 70s,
Okay.
people were afraid to open up. You don't see any Indian opening up here.
Because, like, I guess, you know, we are an Indian business owner in Chinatown.
Yeah, they were afraid because of all these gangsters and all that.
But now, since you've opened your shop, there's been no issues there.
No issue, no issue. Singapore has been built such a way, you know.
Like, everybody is meant to be equal.
Yeah, we were friendly with each other. It's a multiracial country. We all talk to each other. You can go to a church, you can go to a mosque, you can go to a temple. There's no problem in this country. It's safe. And they can come into any of the, faith.
And that's interesting because we are on Smith Street. 2 streets down is Mosque Street, and there's Temple Street. And for you, when did you come here?
1983.
83?
Yeah.
Just 1 year before I was born.
Yeah.
You got married within a month.
We all straight away got married.
Yeah.
Got a bang, got a boo.
And you were born.
When you go to India, do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like you belong there?
I just go there for like a holiday and meet relatives. I still belong to Singapore.
You still feel more Singaporean?
Yeah, because
Is that fair to say?
it's home now. Because I've been here 60 years over. So definitely this is my home.
Is it the same for you? Like, did you ever feel like you connected more to India? Because you came to
No.
Singapore when you were 20.
Yeah. More like Singaporean.
Really? Yeah. Do you like curse in Hokkien and everything? Is that why you... You look gentle, but I have seen you curse in multiple languages. Can we cut to that? No. Cannot show on CNN.
Don't.
That's interesting, right? Because Singapore, in a lot of ways, when we started off as a nation, it was home to many immigrants.
Yeah, it was.
And at that time, actually, most people came from different
Parts of the world, yeah.
Right.
Different states, yeah. Everybody were coming and looking for a better place to settle in the 60s and 70s. People used to come.
Yeah.
We were always felt welcome, I would say.
Like most Singaporeans, my grandparents and parents were immigrants. Not too long ago, we were a nation of newcomers, bound not by ancestry, but by ambition, that they could build something together. So why has something that once defined us now divide us? If you think about it, when do you feel most Singaporean? It's probably on the 9th of August, our national day. And in the lead up to the celebration, huge banners that feature everyday Singaporeans are put up throughout public spaces. This family appeared in one such banner in 2021. But some netizens lashed out at them, assuming they were Indian expats. I invited you to join me for some Hainanese curry rice because in the 2024 National Day rally, this was mentioned as an example of our diverse background in Singapore. These people who are making these negative comments online, they assume that you were expats. How did you feel when you read some of these social media comments?
Of course, the negative ones, when you look at it, again, it's very hurtful. We didn't really expect it because this is something that we never think will happen in Singapore.
I'm a national athlete representing my country in front of a lot of people. So yeah, maybe it's more of a minority people in society who would actually be quite extreme with their views.
Just to set the record straight, you are Singaporean.
Yeah.
I think we are very Singaporean. So
very, not just Singaporean.
So I've born here, I grew up here, and so have my siblings. And both my parents, we're all Singapore citizens. I've served my national service, so of course this adds another layer to me feeling I'm more Singaporean.
Why do you think there's this exclusivity, this air of protection around this concept of Singaporean-ness?
I think as the years go by, Singapore is so globalized that we have all nationalities coming into our country. That clear Singaporean definition may not exist anymore because I think change is happening super, super fast. Singaporeans are very proud people. Our country has done so well over the years.
We are very famous. Our passport, our education system, our healthcare system. So we are just trying to be that exclusive group, and maybe some of us do not wish to share with others.
Do you think that's a right thing to do?
I think it's inevitable.
I'm not too sure whether it's right or wrong, but Singapore being small, of course you're bound to feel it. Your natural instinct to protect your identity, maybe they take it to the other extreme.
Losing one's identity, of course, is going to make you afraid. So maybe these Singaporeans feel like they are slowly losing what it means to be Singaporean or feeling less Singaporean.
I can share that I live in an area where there's a lot of expat community. Subconsciously, I have started wearing my army singlet when I go out in the neighborhood, so people are clear that I'm Singapore gang. Singaporeans worrying about an influx of foreigners. That's not exactly a new fear. As far back as late 2009, the government began to tighten immigration, leading to a steep decline the following year, falling from nearly 60,000 new permanent residents every year down to half of that. In Singapore, you need to become a PR first before you can apply to be a citizen. This means a smaller pool of immigrants qualify for citizenship. About 23,000 new citizenships were granted in Singapore in 2024. Now, this may sound like a manageable number, but think about this. The number of citizen births, which refers to Singaporeans born to a local family, is declining. And that number reached approximately 29,000 in 2024. All right, look, if all that math is not adding up for you, just take a moment to picture this. For every 10 Singaporeans that became citizens because they were born here, 8 foreigners joined us as new citizens.
Singapore is always changing, like we have new citizens coming consistently. As more of their kinsmen come over, they might tend to gather within their circles a little bit more.
Singaporeans who got their nationality long ago, they are having a strong identity, but the new migrants, there's that time taken to, assimilate.
It's been a hot button issue for some time now. And immigration anxiety was also raised by some opposition parties during the most recent general election.
Our own MNCs, our own banks, will employ foreigners to become the CEO. We do not retain the Singapore identity in our business, in our jobs, in our livelihood.
We always welcome foreign talent, but we want a proper guide so that our Singaporeans are not aged out of the job market.
It is wrong when in 2 generations, you introduce so many foreigners into a country that Singaporeans today are looking at you and wondering what you're talking about when you talk about the Singapore identity. There is no Singapore identity.
But the Singapore government's line is clear.
Immigration is essential, even existential, for Singapore's survival. We are a small island with no natural resources. We can only rely on our people, our skills, our enterprise, and hard work to make a living for ourselves.
In the CNA IPS survey, country of birth emerged as the top factor that conflicts with national identity. I've deep dived into those results and I'm bringing some of these findings to Dr. Elaine Ho. She's been researching how migration impacts cities across Asia.
We did a survey of 2,000 respondents to ask them what impact they feel that PRs, foreigners, and new citizens have on Singapore's national identity. If you look at the red bars here, this is the percentage of respondents who felt the PRs and foreigners have weakened Singapore's national identity.
So it's this idea of us versus them. It could be because they perceive that foreigners and PRs, they have not gained as deep a familiarity with Singapore's history, traditions, societal norms. Perhaps also some of these experiences of understanding what makes one Singaporean has to do with undergoing certain shared rites of passage, like going to local schools, doing national service.
I now layer the third group, an even larger percentage felt like the new citizens weakened Singapore's national identity.
So with these three groups, the difference between them is the amount of time they've spent in Singapore. The foreigners have been here possibly the shortest amount of time. The PRs would have been here for a moderate amount of time. With the new citizens, because Singapore doesn't allow dual citizenship, it means that they are here to stay. The respondents may be concerned that their presence in Singapore can have an adverse impact on our national identity. They may be concerned about how new citizens, when they're here for the long term, they may not be mingling as much with local-born Singaporeans. These respondents could be asking themselves, are they truly with us? Will they identify as Singaporean if Singapore faces difficult times in the future, or will they pack up and go?
We also requested some responses regarding Singapore's national values and social cohesion. As you can see, 36.4% of the respondents felt like new citizens weakened Singapore's national values, and 36% felt like they weakened Singapore's social cohesion. Take note, this is a higher percentage than for the PRs and the foreigners. Why do you think there is a sense that the new citizens could potentially weaken Singapore's national values or social cohesion?
If the new citizens come from countries that have different types of national values, they may not adopt or practice Singapore's national values as intuitively. And as a result, this can impact social cohesion. Maybe we just zoom in on a particular national value, okay, multiculturalism, because local-born Singaporeans have gone through the local schools where from a young age they are taught, to respect other cultural groups, learn about their traditions, and that these cultural groups are equal in Singapore. The new citizens may come from countries where they have a dominant ethnic group. These three ideas, national identity, national values, and social cohesion, are often seen to have a way of augmenting or eroding one's sense of belonging to a nation.
Okay.
It may be that with these respondents, as they see how Singapore is changing, they may wonder whether they themselves actually still feel a sense of belonging in Singapore. Is this becoming a Singapore that I'm no longer familiar with? Am I being displaced by people who are different from me? However, they have not been in Singapore as long as me. In an ideal scenario, what we would want is for national identity, national values, and social cohesion to be able to positively augment both local-born Singaporeans as well as newcomers' sense of belonging to Singapore.
Our nationwide survey included both Singapore citizens and permanent residents. In an open-ended question,
We asked what are some of the features of Singapore's national identity.
no surprise, food came up. And Singlish too.
Some even say government, and even the Malayan.
I've gathered some items inspired by the top answers from the question we asked in our survey, what it means to be Singaporean. Will my guests be able to recognize them?
First one. What are we looking at here?
Malayan.
It's not a trick question. Okay, correct, Malayan. Easy, right? Next one, these things.
Cleanliness.
You said cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
This is the face of someone who never choked table before. This is a trick question. It's not choke. What is the trait?
Kiasu.
Correct. Now, this sign.
Multiple languages.
Multicultural. Yeah, we were talking about multiculturalism. You're right, yeah? You can see the sign. Please don't read too much into the sign. This is not something we are saying to the world, like no entry, you know what I mean? We have enough. No. We're not saying that. You'll see a series of words here. What are we talking about here?
Singlish. Singlish?
Singlish, right? What do you think the meaning of these words are? Kanchong.
Nervous?
Nervous, yeah.
Panicking.
Alamak means what?
When you're uncertain about something, you will say alamak, something which is not normal. Yeah, oh dear. Yeah, you can say.
Alamak. Atas.
High class, luxury. Can be arrogant also, talking about someone.
Very good, huh? Y'all are doing well. Huh? Oh, this one.
Duh.
Yeah, but you need to explain a bit. Don't just go, duh.
That's what it means.
Can you pronounce this?
Abuden.
Very good, thank you. There's one more task. You may be able to chop a table, but can you stomach these durian puffs? Is being Singaporean in your DNA?
In my 15 years in Singapore, I think I tried maybe only once very long time ago. It's actually not so bad. Yes, it's not so bad.
I like the smell, I like the taste, but my body doesn't like it. That is the problem.
I really like it. All the different flavors, D24 to Mao San Mao.
We've all passed with flying colours. Now, we need you all to literally, in a power move, just flash your Singapore passport if you have it on you. And you have it on you, of course you do.
They may sound or even look a little different from your average Singaporean. But all of them have chosen to take up the Singapore citizenship after spending at least a decade here.
Now, let me bring you into this next part of our discussion. We did a survey. We asked our respondents which of these factors would conflict with our national identity. Coming in number 2, not serving NS. The gentleman here. Any one of you served NS in Singapore? No? No? Would you serve NS in Singapore if given the opportunity?
If I was younger, yes.
I would think that is the main reason why first generation new citizens are not required to serve, because I think the government understands, can they leave their job for 2 years without income? Or can they leave their family for 2 years, It's a very different situation versus young boys serving the nation.
How would you respond to that perception that if you didn't serve NS, you may be less Singaporean than someone who did?
I will say that, okay, NS is important, but being Singaporean is not only about that. And also the fact for new citizens like us, keep in consideration that we voluntarily renounce our previous citizenship. So it's a big commitment already. I think this has to be respected and understand why we choose Singapore to be our home.
I actually would support the two because the joke is I now need visa to go to my country of birth. So I actually have to apply to go visit my family there, which is a joke.
What people do not really realize is that it takes months
years to think about this. Back home, what people say is also something that you think about. Wow, you're giving this up, you know,
you're betraying your country.
You're leaving your friends, your families. That's a lot to think about.
That's a real accusation?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So there is a sacrifice. If someone questions your loyalty in Singapore,
yeah, it's quite hurtful.
Top response that conflicts with national identity was country of birth.
I truly don't understand why the country of birth rank as the top, because you have all the different races here, right?
We keep saying that Singapore is very inclusive, very diverse, very multicultural, but is it really? In reality, you know, when you look at it, okay, there is an acceptance, but still, country of birth to this point.
There could be a perception that new citizens are here to reap the benefits of being Singaporean, whether it's the powerful passport for travel, whether it's the subsidized government housing. You are after these benefits, but are you really with the Singaporeans?
I understand where it's coming from. Even already as PR, we are paying our IRAS and everything in Singapore. So we are part of the economy. We are bringing also something. I think we are doing our fair share as well.
The intention to the immigration is quite obvious that we are here to stay, we will contribute to the country, you know, for the next generation.
It's not easy to get a Singapore citizenship. Singapore also have a lot of criteria. They also protect Singaporeans, right?
When we apply for the citizenship, of course, the ICA, the government, will analyze what we can contribute to Singapore. So that's the reason also they accept us as the new citizenship.
It took me almost 10 years.
Took you 10 years?
Yes, I got rejected 3 times.
So is it fair to say here that the collective view is that given the stringent citizenship processes, you are the best team, the A team?
We have been selected.
You've been selected.
It's a two-way thing. Reaping the benefits, of course. The Singapore government also takes something from us. Singapore is always about a win-win. You win from us, we win from you. Is that fair? I think so.
Final thing that came up was a question of loyalty. If you were not born here, are you really going to be loyal to Singapore if crisis comes?
Well, I feel they actually take care of this when they ask you to renounce your previous passport. I mean, to me, this is as loyal as you can get. If it would be a different situation in a country where you can have multiple passports.
When you hold only one passport, you are much more accountable.
When you choose to be here, when you choose that, you know, this is home, that's the new you. Every time I go back to Indonesia, my mom always said, remember, you're in Indonesia now, so stop acting like a Singaporean. Or dial it down. I'm more Singaporean now. I think like a Singaporean. I speak like a Singaporean. All my friends are Singaporeans, you know. So, loyalty?
No question for you.
No question.
True Singaporeans. Sitting with them, did they feel like one of us? Yeah.
Some are still in the process of fitting in, while others feel firmly that they have a place here. But what doesn't change is that by accepting Singapore citizenship, they have decided, one way or another, that being Singaporean can become a part of their identity. But the question is, do we have enough shared elements among us to build a national identity? I'm gathering a group of Singaporeans across ages, race, class, and places of birth for a social experiment. And yes, you might find some of them familiar.
Welcome everyone, thanks for joining me here today. I will be reading a series of statements. If you agree with that statement, or if you think it applies to you, take one step forward towards the big red dot. If you disagree with it, or the statement does not apply to you, just remain where you are. I am born in Singapore. I have completed national service. I am of the majority race. Next statement is a fun one. I like to complain.
When I choose for a hotel booking in the internet, I will look out for reviews with a Singapore flag. Because we are known for the biggest complainers, like the most honest review.
This is amazing, David, because it's almost as though our complainy behavior as a nation is a service to the world.
Yes.
Next statement. I understand Singlish perfectly. What kind of things do you all say to each other in Singlish?
You wanna go get some drinks or not lah? We use lah.
Yes, yes.
It may not be the standard English that people understand, but there's a bonding among the citizens.
I have queued for 30 minutes for my favorite hawker food. I feel a sense of kinship when I see or hear Singaporeans overseas. Okay.
It's just nice to hear there's someone else from my tiny island country. It's just nice. It's a nice feeling that I'm not alone here.
Yeah, joy that, you know, there's someone else from my country and that I can understand is in another land.
Do you initiate contact or conversation when you hear or you see? You're like, hey, you!
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
I believe in the importance of multiculturalism. I believe Singapore's diversity is our strength.
I've been a naturalized citizen, and I originally came from India. When I came to Singapore, I really understood diversity, because diversity in the true sense is when we actually start mixing and we are tolerant about ideas from others.
I think it definitely does make us stronger, and we have diverse strength, diverse views on different things, and we can come together and make things better.
I believe I have a future in Singapore. One final statement for all of us. I am proud to be a Singaporean.
I've seen it from scratch, see how Singapore has developed and has improved over the years and become what it is now, a wonderful little red dot.
Lydia, so beautifully said.
I am very proud to be a Singaporean.
Thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts and your feelings so generously. Take a look around and make eye contact with these people. Think about some of the things you've learned, some of the things you've heard, maybe about someone else, maybe about yourselves. I know we all come from different worlds, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different age groups, but perhaps there's a lot more in common we have than we thought. After spending 12 months meeting Singaporeans from all walks of life, what's interesting to me though is that despite some of these clear differences, there still are shared memories, shared experiences, and even shared values that allow us to call ourselves Singaporean. And maybe that's what it is, right? Being Singaporean, it's a constant negotiation between all these different identities that make us who we are.
When I reached to the circle, I felt relief because I'm not as different as the rest of the other Singaporeans.
You may feel that complaining is a bad thing, but I think complaining is us getting better. Being critical of ourselves in areas where we can improve, I think that is what makes us Singaporean.
I feel that actually Singaporeans are around the same actually, even though we have our differences, but we can relate to a lot of things.
We were a bit diverse initially. The journey of opening up is the journey of actually coming together. We saw each other in the same light, and that was important, and that is being Singaporean.